testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, everyone. This is Nelson for GamesMatter, and today I am with the bodacious programmer slash artist slash designer of Fistful of Gun.
Yeah! What's up, everybody?
Yeah, so this is Paul Hart. He has developed some other cool stuff. How did you get started with this entire thing, man? Just not even just game development, but Fistful of Gun.
That's pretty. You're asking me like what I did for like the last 8, maybe 9 years of my life. Shit.
Yeah,
okay,
it's an easy question.
I'll start from
of
the
course.
beginning. Let's start the game, and I'll walk you through it. So, I got my first job doing like crappy multimedia designs, and I'm like, games are cool because you know everybody plays games. I want to make games, so I like sent this shitty CV around to all the places in Brisbane, place in Australia where I used to live, and long story short, this place called Fuzzy Eyes picked me up to work like below minimum wage to make bikinis for their borderline like porn fast food game called Hot Dogs, Hot Girls. So my first job was like modeling 3D modeled bikinis for this Asian game, and I sort of got into it from there. It was a horrible game. In fact, you can still find it. It's called Hot Dog King. That's what it shipped in America.
Do you want people to find it?
I mean, you can do what you want. Do it. Check it or don't. I mean, it's embarrassing, but that's how I started. And then I just thought, this is crap. I can do better. And I just started making my own games, basically.
Hey, well, it's a great place to get motivation, and yeah, if hot dogs, hot bikinis sounds like something that floats your boat.
Yeah, I mean, it was a laugh. Like it was probably more fun working there than the actual game itself. Like we had, you just come into work and you'd laugh like for solid, like chunks of time would just disappear because you're just joking around and putting jokes in game because the whole game was a joke basically. Yeah, man, it was a cool job, but I mean, it just wasn't a very good game, and I just thought I can do better and just moved on basically and started working with better companies and learning more shit, and then eventually just trying to do it all myself, and now here I am. Like I wouldn't say I can do it all myself to like the level of quality like a big company or anything, but I'm getting there. Like it's not crap. It died. it's not too far off. Like
That's awesome.
I can do probably the thing that I lack the most is like music. Like I'm not very good musically. I never was.
So if I drink whiskey, does everybody else get the benefit of the whiskey as well?
Yeah, everybody gets it. Yeah, except everybody's dead. You're the 13th?
No, I was Dutch, and I was somehow set on fire.
Ah, okay. Yeah, the fire's back. It was out in a previous build.
Oh, so that explains a lot of my victories.
Yeah, like depends on someone's controller.
Okay, so yeah, so your career started with the illustrious hot dogs, hot bikinis. Have you been a gamer from a young age?
Yeah, man. Like, to be fair, like my parents didn't let me have like a game console till I was like 14 or 15 or something like that. Thought games are the devil. Nah, not really. They're just sort of like more focused on like schooling and stuff, and we weren't allowed games in the house and all sorts of stuff like that. But when we got like a computer, it was just game over from there because I started downloading like shareware demos and stuff like Doom and Duke and stuff like that, and then the internet was a thing and you could download whatever you wanted. Just took forever on your crappy modem. So yeah, beyond that, I just started there was a program called HyperCard which made like Myst. If you heard of Myst, it's like a really old sort of like screen click game.
it was a huge influence for a lot of people. It blew
Oh
their
yeah,
minds.
I got the thing it was made in was called HyperCard, and I got it with the Mac that we had. It was a black and white piece of shit basically, but it had that, and I was fascinated by it. And I was making. I remember playing Worms. I loved Worms, like the game Worms, Worms 1.
How
And then
can you
when
not
Worms-
love a game that allows you to take a worm with a grappling hook and beat someone to death with a baseball bat? You know?
Or yeah, or like do a little Street Fighter punch in their face and fireball them off a cliff. It was oh shit! I just disconnected. All right, we have to reconnect.
No worries.
Sorry, that's my shitty internet.
Yeah, so actually that's a really interesting thing. So you didn't start, you didn't have a game console until you were older. And being in, it's New Zealand, right?
Yeah, man.
You don't
So,
have...
well, I lived in Australia originally. Someone might have dropped. Hold up. I always just assume it's my internet. Just run with 3.
Okay.
The other guy dropped, I think.
But, yeah.
Just hit begin. Yeah,
So-
yeah, so
What challenges have you faced developing in a country like New Zealand?
well, I haven't been in New Zealand that long, man. I've been in New Zealand, shit, maybe 5 or 6 years now. So most of my time has been in Australia, and I mean it's just remote. It's basically sums it up. Live in the country. Like you take manual jobs when you can because there's not much else work around. But now that the internet's a thing, you can find like game work a little bit easier. Like people still want like in-house artists or whatever, but occasionally you can find stuff on the internet to do for money, and that's kind of how I've been working, just like doing this as a hobby sort of thing, and yeah, just getting by. Live in a small house, keep your costs down, don't drive a nice car. Those things are...
When you grew up, did you have any idea what you'd go into in the future, that you'd become a game developer?
I always wanted to make movies. Like, I think that was my thing. I was obsessed with, like...
You basically
all
wanted to
sorts
be
of
Hideo
movies.
Kojima.
Maybe, yeah. Like, I was obsessed with movies, and then it sort of turned to games when I could see what games are capable of. Like,
What was the game
what-
that really showed you what games were capable of?
I'd have to say, like, Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VII. Like, I can't pinpoint which one made me, like, want to be a game developer more. I think 6 got me into it, because, like, it was pushing the limits of, like, what a Super Nintendo could do, and then it was just a great game as well. And then 7 kind of, like, was, it was a launch title. It wasn't a... Yeah, I think it was a launch title, actually, for the PS1. It was great. It was in every magazine. You saw all these amazing pre-rendered backgrounds, and you just like, wow, I want to be there type thing. It was tafantastic, and it's in the time it was created, it was fantastic. God damn, these guys are taking
If
forever to
BuzzFeed had
kill.
existed back then, I'm just imagining like the quiz: are you a Tifa or an Aerith?
You mean which one did I like?
No, I can just imagine if BuzzFeed existed back then, like the type of surveys that would be
Oh yeah,
that people would have grown
these
up
guys
with.
are taking forever to kill. I think the as I was talking about before we started recording, the balance is a bit off on the health and stuff. Anyway, yeah. So Final Fantasy VII, I'd say probably was the thing that was like the defining moment of I want to get into this, and then I just started going through damn near everything, like as a sort of serious hobby. I didn't know I wanted to make games at that point. I just wanted to play them all. Played damn near everything.
So, do you think playing games has made you into a better developer?
I don't know if that's true, actually. I think it gives you better perspective on what you want to make, but I don't know if it's true that it makes you a better developer. I mean, maybe it does for some people, but I can't really answer that.
So,
I have a funny... Oh, yeah.
oh, you were saying?
I was going to say something about this level, but it's not really important to the conversation.
No, it absolutely is. What did you want to say?
I was wondering if whoever's hosting this has updated their client. Like, it's not important.
So, when you finished with your first with hot dogs and bikinis,
Yeah.
what was your next project? You said I can do better than this, and that inspired you to begin doing some really cool stuff.
Not initially. Like, that was kind of like the thought over like maybe 3 years or so. Like, I want to make the steps to like try and make my own games, because seems like, you know, the next logical step to take. So yeah, I mean, I took a job at Oren, which made trains. You know that that thing that everybody's remixed. You know, the original how the train, and it's got dubstep to it and stuff.
I don't think I do.
It was a YouTube hit, maybe like, I don't know, 5 years back. It was like the first of the, you know, like there's the farm simulator, and they put it to dubstep and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was like the original one of those, and that's the game, Trains with a Z. And I made trains and train tracks and stuff like that. And I worked at Creative Assembly for a bit on, for a very short time, doing UI, which was dull, basically. And that was for Medieval 2, Total War.
So you weren't like modeling battles and such. You were modeling the menus you went into between the battles.
Yeah. I wanted to model that stuff, but it was kind of like a position that was, you know, people wanted, basically. So you kind of had to have seniority in the place, and you had to put in your time type thing by doing shit things, you know, like modeling grass and doing UI and stuff like that. So
if Grass Simulator has taught us anything, it's that modeling grass can be very important. Properly modeled grass. That's what that.
Yeah. I mean,
generation.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, then I moved to New Zealand, took a few like idle jobs, did a bit of manual labor for a bit, and then just decided to get back into making my own games. I made like my first game was like a little zombie game, and then the second one was like got a little bit more creative, but it was a horrible game. I started doing game jams because it was like an excuse to like finish up. You know, like you can't really like what's the word? You can't avoid like the deadline of like a game jam. Either that or you fail. So I started doing game jams on a place called Tig Sauce, and then I did a Ludum Dare eventually. God damn it! Yeah, the code's way too. The health on these guys is way too much. I have to write that down. Let's see. This is going to be all the way to release. Another 20 days of this shit.
Someone in the chat asked, they said that they are a person trying to get into game developing and have no idea what game they should even try to make. Any tips or ideas, and do you use Unity?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't use Unity at the moment. I have used Unity in the past. It's just, it's a good tool. Like, I mean, I like Unity. It's just, I'm like an artist first, programmer second. So like when I use Unity, I use things like Playmaker or something like that, because, you know, JS, it's just not that good. It's not very clean. It's not. Yeah, long story short, more of an artist, less of a programmer. So I try to take shortcuts wherever I can.
And the fact that you're able to develop this, of course, with the help of people like Lee Williams and what was the name of the other developer?
Sarashu.
Sarashu, yeah.
He's a music guy. He makes. I don't know if they can hear the music, but it's pretty awesome. It's like all like.
It's very
classic.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's like rock combined with like classic kind of Western piano tunes. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's cool, man. So yeah, that's.
Oh, it just got crushed by a box.
The balance is all skew. If it drives me nuts when this happens. So yeah, I guess the next step is okay. So to answer his question, sorry, I got sidetracked. Probably the easiest thing to do is just like clone something, like getting the design together with you know, with technical elements in mind is quite hard. It's harder than people initially think.